Imagine being a small child, alone and crying on a dusty road, when suddenly a majestic lion appears out of nowhere. This isn't a scene from a movie, it's a true story that happened in a wildlife reserve. Here, an unexpected bond between a little boy, a protective lion named Scout, and a dedicated ranger named Ethan changed their lives forever. Meet Ethan, a passionate wildlife ranger who has spent his entire life protecting the animals in the reserve. His closest friend is Scout, a powerful lion with a heart as big as his strong presence. One fateful morning, everything changes when a young boy named David is left alone on the reserve's rough path. What happens next is a story of survival, protection, and an incredible connection that goes beyond the boundaries between humans and animals. This story isn't just about the wild and its animals. It's about the amazing relationships that can form in the most unexpected situations. Through courage, resilience, and unwavering trust, Ethan, Scout, and David show us how compassion and understanding can deeply affect our lives. As we follow their journey, you'll see the true meaning of family, the strength found in unity, and the wonderful ways nature and humanity come together. Join us as we dive into this touching and exciting story, highlighting the bravery of a ranger, the protective instincts of a lion, and the innocence of a child. This is a story that will inspire you, move you, and give you a greater appreciation for the bonds that connect us all. Early one morning, the sun begins to rise over the expansive wildlife reserve, casting a golden hue across the vast landscape. The reserve is a sanctuary for numerous endangered species, a place where nature thrives under the watchful eye of dedicated rangers. Amidst the serene beauty, a scene of desperation unfolds on a remote dirt road within the reserve. A battered old car slowly makes its way onto the reserve's rugged path. The driver, a young woman with tears in her eyes, steps out of the vehicle, holding her small child tightly. Her face is etched with worry and exhaustion as she looks around, searching for something she desperately needs. With a heavy heart, she places her crying son, David, in the middle of the road. The boy, no more than 3 years old, clutches his blue jacket tightly, his face swollen from tears. As the woman hesitates, a gentle breeze rustles the leaves, carrying with it a sense of foreboding. She looks back at her child, her eyes filled with both fear and sorrow. Without a second thought, she turns and drives away, leaving David alone on the dusty road. The boy's cries echo through the morning air, a haunting sound that pierces the stillness of the reserve. Meanwhile, Scout, a massive lion with a magnificent mane, awakens from his slumber. He stretches lazily, his powerful body moving with grace and strength. As the sun climbs higher, Scout begins his daily patrol, his keen senses attuned to every sound and scent in his territory. The morning breeze carries a faint, unfamiliar scent, something different from the usual aromas of the reserve. Scout's curiosity is piqued. He pads silently across the terrain, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of disturbance. His powerful muscles ripple beneath his tawny fur as he moves with purpose, every step calculated and deliberate. As he approaches the dirt road, he spots a small figure sitting alone, tears streaming down his face. David sits motionless, his eyes wide with fear and confusion. The sight of the young boy tugs at something deep within Scout. He senses the child's vulnerability, a stark contrast to his own position of strength and dominance in the wild. For a moment, Scout hesitates, torn between his instincts as a predator and an inexplicable urge to protect. The reserve, though vast, is home to several lion prides, each with their own dynamics and territories. Ethan, the wildlife ranger, has been Scout's guardian since the lion was just a cub. Years ago, Ethan discovered Scout alone and vulnerable after poachers attacked his family. From that day forward, Ethan dedicated himself to raising Scout, ensuring he grew strong and capable of surviving in the wild. Ethan understands the delicate balance of nature and the importance of allowing animals like Scout to integrate with their peers. He hopes that Scout will one day find his place among the other lions, free from human dependence. However, he remains ever watchful, keeping a close eye on Scout's movements and behavior, ready to intervene if necessary. As Scout continues to observe David, he senses the boy's distress. The air is thick with tension, the silence only broken by the boy's occasional sobs. Scout's mind races with conflicting emotions. On one hand, the wild instinct to assert his dominance. On the other, a protective instinct that mirrors the care Ethan once provided him. The stage is set for an encounter that will change their lives forever. As the morning sun rises higher, Scout continues his slow, deliberate approach toward David. The little boy remains seated on the dusty road, his cries growing louder and more desperate with each passing moment. Scout circles the boy, his powerful frame moving with silent grace. The air is thick with anticipation, the reserve holding its breath as predator and child come face to face. David looks up, his tear-streaked face meeting Scout's intense gaze. The lion's golden eyes seem to bore into the boy's very soul, a mix of curiosity and caution evident in his expression. Scout lets out a low growl, a warning that resonates through the stillness of the reserve. The boy, frozen with fear, clutches his jacket tighter, his small body trembling. Scout pauses, his head tilting slightly as he assesses the situation. The boy's vulnerability tugs at something deep within the lion, a remnant of the care and protection Ethan provided him as a cub. Despite his imposing presence, Scout's demeanor shifts from intimidation to something more complex, an internal struggle between his natural instincts and an inexplicable desire to safeguard the child. The tension reaches its peak as Scout roars once more, a fierce and commanding sound that reverberates across the reserve. The boy's cries momentarily cease, replaced by the sound of the lion's powerful voice. David's eyes widen in shock, his fear mingling with awe as he gazes up at the magnificent creature before him. Suddenly, Scout charges forward, his massive paws thundering against the dirt road. The boy's scream is cut short as the lion leaps over him, the ground shaking with the force of Scout's movement. Just as it seems the situation will escalate into chaos, a second lion emerges from the surrounding brush, creating an unexpected and intense confrontation. The two lions face off, their bodies tense and ready for battle. Scout, despite his earlier hesitation, engages the newcomer in a brief but fierce fight. Claws swipe through the air, and roars echo through the reserve as the two powerful animals vie for dominance. The struggle is swift, with Scout quickly overpowering the other lion, asserting his dominance once more. Amidst the chaos, Ethan becomes aware of the disturbance. His trained eyes catch sight of the commotion on the dirt road. The lions fighting, and the abandoned boy caught in the middle. Without hesitation, Ethan springs into action, understanding the gravity of the situation. He races towards the scene in his jeep, the urgency of his mission clear in his determined expression. As Ethan approaches, he witnesses the aftermath of the confrontation. The second lion limps away, defeated by Scout's strength. Scout, now calm, turns his attention back to David, who remains seated on the ground, visibly shaken but unharmed. The ranger's heart races as he realizes the immediate danger the boy is in and the remarkable behavior of the lion protecting him. Ethan pulls his jeep to a stop, his mind racing with questions. How did a child end up alone in the reserve? What circumstances led to this moment of abandonment? As he steps out of the vehicle, he moves cautiously towards David, keeping a watchful eye on Scout. The lion stands tall, his protective stance clear as he watches over the boy with unwavering focus. Ethan reaches David, gently placing a hand on the child's shoulder to offer comfort. The boy looks up, his eyes meeting Ethan's with a mix of fear and gratitude. Scout remains by David's side, his presence a silent promise of protection. Ethan feels a surge of relief, knowing that both the boy and the lion are safe, for now. This encounter marks the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Ethan, Scout, and David find themselves intertwined by fate, each playing a crucial role in the other's life. The bond that forms in these moments will test their resilience, challenge their perceptions, and ultimately reveal the profound connections that can exist between humans and the wild. Ethan's heart pounds in his chest as he takes in the scene before him. The reserve, usually a place of tranquility, now buzzes with tension and uncertainty. He approaches cautiously, his training kicking in as he assesses the situation. David, the abandoned boy, sits on the ground, visibly shaken but unharmed, while Scout stands guard protectively beside him. Ethan kneels beside David, offering a reassuring smile. "Hey there, little guy. Are you okay?" His voice is calm and soothing, designed to comfort the frightened child. David nods slowly, his eyes never leaving Scout's imposing figure. The ranger can see the fear still lingering in the boy's tear-streaked face, but there's also a glimmer of trust forming. Scout remains vigilant, his powerful presence a constant reminder of both the dangers and the unexpected kindness that can exist in the wild. Ethan understands the delicate balance he's witnessing, the instinctual behavior of a lion protecting a vulnerable child, a bond that mirrors the very connection Ethan once shared with Scout. Without warning, Ethan's thoughts are interrupted by the distant sound of approaching vehicles. Another Jeep, belonging to a fellow ranger, comes into view, adding to the urgency of the situation. Time is of the essence, and Ethan knows he must act quickly to ensure David's safety. He gently lifts David into his arms, careful to keep him as calm as possible. "Let's get you somewhere safe," Ethan says, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. As he turns to move, Scout follows, his eyes never leaving the boy, ensuring no harm comes his way. Ethan ushers David towards his Jeep, the boy clinging to him tightly. The ranger's mind races with questions. How did this child end up alone in the vast reserve? What drove his parents to abandon him here? As he secures David safely inside the vehicle, Ethan glances back at Scout, who remains a steadfast guardian. The drive back to the ranger station is filled with a mix of relief and contemplation. Ethan can't shake the feeling that there's more to this story, a deeper connection between the boy, the lion, and himself. As he navigates the rugged terrain, he keeps a watchful eye on Scout, ensuring the lion doesn't pose any further threat to David. Upon reaching the station, Ethan gently lays David down, his mind already working to piece together the events that led to this moment. He knows that understanding the boy's background is crucial, not only for David's well-being, but also for maintaining the delicate harmony within the reserve. Ethan contacts his colleagues, reporting the incident and requesting assistance. The other rangers arrive swiftly, bringing with them a sense of support and camaraderie. Together, they begin the process of caring for David, providing him with food, water, and a safe space to recover from his ordeal. Throughout the day, Ethan remains by David's side, offering comfort and reassurance. The boy, though still frightened, begins to relax in Ethan's presence, finding solace in the ranger's unwavering dedication. As night falls, Ethan reflects on the day's events, recognizing the extraordinary bond that is formed between him, Scout, and David. This unexpected turn of events has not only brought a new member into their lives, but has also rekindled Ethan's appreciation for the profound connections that can exist between humans and the wild. He knows that the road ahead will be filled with challenges, but with Scout's protection and his own commitment, Ethan is determined to ensure that David finds safety and belonging within the reserve. Determined to understand how David ended up alone in the wildlife reserve, Ethan begins his investigation. He knows that uncovering the truth is essential not only for David's safety, but also for maintaining the delicate balance of the reserve. The first step is to review the CCTV footage from the reserve's boundaries, hoping to find clues about the boy's arrival. Sitting in his office, Ethan watches the footage with a focused eye. The screen shows the early morning hours when the incident occurred. At first, the footage is uneventful, capturing the serene beauty of the reserve at dawn. But as the minutes tick by, Ethan notices a faint figure approaching the boundary fence, a young woman driving a battered old car. The woman steps out of the vehicle, her movements hurried and desperate. She glances around nervously, scanning the surroundings for any sign of detection. Her eyes dart towards the fence, noting a weak spot that could be exploited. With a deep breath, she pushes her way through the gap, forcing the car into the reserve. Ethan rewinds the footage, replaying the moments leading up to David's abandonment. The woman exits the car, holding David tightly against her chest. His small frame trembles with fear as she attempts to find a safe spot within the reserve. Finally, she spots the dirt road and, with a heavy heart, places David in the middle of the path before driving away, leaving him alone. The footage reveals the woman's desperation and the difficult decisions she made in a moment of crisis. Ethan can see the tenderness in her actions, despite the harshness of leaving her child behind. It's a heartbreaking glimpse into the struggles that can lead to such a painful choice. With this new information, Ethan begins to piece together the possible reasons behind David's abandonment. He considers the challenges faced by the villagers around the reserve. poverty, lack of resources, and perhaps familial issues that left the woman feeling she had no other option. The weight of responsibility settles on Ethan's shoulders as he realizes the depth of the situation. Ethan knows that finding David's parents is crucial, but he also understands the limitations of his resources. The reserve is vast, and tracking down the woman who abandoned the boy may prove difficult. He decides to reach out to local authorities and community leaders, hoping to gather more information and support in locating David's family. As days pass, Ethan remains dedicated to David's well-being, ensuring the boy feels safe and cared for within the ranger station. He provides him with food, clothing, and a comfortable space to rest, all while patiently waiting for answers. The bond between Ethan and David strengthens, built on trust and mutual respect. Meanwhile, Scout continues to play a pivotal role in David's protection. The lion's presence offers both comfort and security, a silent guardian watching over the boy as he begins to acclimate to his new surroundings. Ethan observes how Scout's behavior has evolved since David's arrival, noting the subtle changes in the lion's demeanor that signify a deeper connection. Ethan reflects on his own journey with Scout, recalling the day he found the cub alone and vulnerable after a tragic encounter with poachers. The experience forged an unbreakable bond between them, one that now extends to include David. It's a testament to the resilience of both humans and animals, and the incredible relationships that can form even in the most challenging circumstances. As Ethan delves deeper into the investigation, he uncovers more about the woman's background. She lived in a small village near the reserve, struggling to make ends meet and provide for her family. Financial hardships and personal losses may have driven her to the brink, leading to the heart-wrenching decision to abandon her son in a place where he would be safe from immediate harm. Ethan shares his findings with his team, emphasizing the importance of community support in preventing such tragedies in the future. They discuss ways to provide assistance to the villagers, ensuring that no other parent feels compelled to leave their child behind. It's a sobering reminder of the broader issues at play and the role the reserve can play in fostering positive change. As the investigation continues, Ethan remains hopeful that David's family can be found and reunited with their son. Until then, he commits to providing a loving and supportive environment for the boy, with Scout by his side every step of the way. The journey ahead is uncertain, but the bond between Ethan, Scout, and David serves as a beacon of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Moved by David's plight, Ethan decides to take him into his care. The decision isn't made lightly. Ethan has spent years focused solely on the animals of the reserve, dedicating his life to their protection and well-being. Caring for a child is uncharted territory, but Ethan's compassionate nature drives him to provide the boy with the support and love he needs. The initial days are filled with challenges as Ethan navigates his new role as a caregiver. David is frightened and disoriented, unsure of his new environment and the people around him. Ethan remains patient, speaking softly and offering gentle reassurances to help the boy feel safe. He introduces David to the routine of the ranger station, showing him the places where he can play and rest, gradually easing the transition. Scout continues to play a vital role in David's integration. The lion's presence offers a sense of security, his protective instincts ensuring that the boy remains safe within the confines of the reserve. David, in turn, grows more comfortable around Scout, finding solace in the lion's steady and watchful gaze. The bond between them strengthens, mirroring the connection Ethan once shared with Scout. Ethan recognizes the importance of fostering a sense of normalcy for David. He incorporates the boy into daily activities, teaching him about the wildlife and the importance of conservation. Together, they explore the reserve, with Scout trailing close behind, a silent guardian ensuring their safety. These shared experiences create lasting memories, building trust and friendship between the three. Despite the progress, Ethan faces numerous obstacles in caring for David. Balancing his responsibilities as a ranger with the needs of a child requires adaptability and resilience. He seeks support from his colleagues, who offer assistance and guidance, helping to lighten the load and ensure that David receives the attention he deserves. Ethan also takes steps to connect with the local community, reaching out to social workers and child welfare organizations to explore options for David's future. He understands the importance of finding a stable and nurturing environment for the boy, one where he can thrive and grow. The process is complex, but Ethan remains steadfast in his commitment to David's well-being. Meanwhile, Scout's role in David's life evolves. The lion becomes a source of comfort and protection, his presence a constant reminder that David is not alone. Ethan observes how Scout's behavior changes when the boy's nearby, noticing the gentle way the lion allows David to pet him and the way he watches over the child with a maternal instinct. One afternoon, Ethan and David sit under the shade of a large acacia tree, sharing stories about their lives. David begins to open up, speaking of his parents and the circumstances that led to his abandonment. Ethan listens intently, offering words of encouragement and understanding. The ranger's own experiences with loss and survival resonate with David, creating a deep emotional connection between them. As weeks turn into months, the bond between Ethan, Scout, and David solidifies into a familial relationship. They support each other through challenges and celebrate the small victories together. David finds joy in watching Scout play and hunt, learning to appreciate the beauty and strength of the wild. Ethan, in turn, finds renewed purpose in his work, inspired by the boy's resilience and the extraordinary connection they share. The trio faces numerous obstacles, from navigating daily routines to handling unexpected dangers within the reserve. Whether it's dealing with sudden weather changes or ensuring the reserve remains safe from external threats, Ethan, Scout, and David work together seamlessly. Their teamwork is a testament to the power of trust and mutual respect, proving that even the most unlikely relationships can flourish under the right circumstances. Ethan also begins to document their journey, capturing the unique bond they share through photos and journal entries. He hopes that their story will inspire others to appreciate the incredible connections that can form between humans and animals, highlighting the importance of compassion and understanding in fostering these relationships. As David grows more accustomed to life in the reserve, his initial fears give way to a sense of belonging. He develops a deep appreciation for the natural world around him, inspired by Ethan's dedication and Scout's protective presence. The boy's resilience shines through, and Ethan couldn't be prouder of the progress they've made together. In these moments of shared joy and accomplishment, Ethan reflects on the unexpected twists that life can take. What began as a moment of despair has transformed into a journey of hope, connection, and mutual support. The bond between Ethan, Scout, and David serves as a powerful reminder of the unbreakable ties that can form when compassion and trust are at the forefront of our actions. Peace within the wildlife reserve is short-lived, as reports of poachers encroaching on the protected land begin to surface. Despite the reserve's robust security measures, the greed and desperation of poachers pose a constant threat to the sanctuary's inhabitants. Ethan knows that the safety of the animals, including Scout, and now David, hangs in the balance. The tension rises as the poachers become more audacious, venturing deeper into the reserve and pushing the boundaries of their operations. Their presence is a direct challenge to the harmony that Ethan and his team have worked so hard to maintain. The ranger understands that immediate action is necessary to prevent any harm from coming to the reserve's precious wildlife. One evening, as the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the landscape, Ethan receives a distress call from one of the reserve's surveillance teams. Poachers have been spotted near Scout's territory, and their intentions appear to be menacing. Without hesitation, Ethan mobilizes his team, preparing to confront the threat head-on. Scout, sensing the disturbance, becomes visibly agitated. His protective instincts kick in, and he positions himself between the approaching poachers and David. The lion's presence is both a deterrent and a symbol of the reserve's resilience against those who seek to exploit it. Ethan watches as Scout stands his ground, the powerful lion ready to defend his newfound family. As the poachers draw closer, the tension is palpable. The air is thick with the potential for conflict, the reserve holding its breath in anticipation of what might unfold. Ethan knows that the safety of his team, the animals, and David relies on their ability to respond swiftly and effectively to the threat. The poachers, unaware of the lion's protective stance, proceed with caution, unaware of the formidable obstacles standing in their way. Ethan strategizes with his team, coordinating their efforts to outmaneuver the intruders and safeguard the reserve's inhabitants. The urgency of the situation demands quick thinking and decisive action. Suddenly, the poachers make their move, attempting to set traps and capture animals for profit. Ethan and his team spring into action, utilizing their training and experience to neutralize the threat. The reserve becomes a battleground, the clash between conservation and exploitation unfolding under the cover of dusk. Scout, driven by his instinct to protect, confronts the poachers directly. His powerful roars echo through the reserve, a clear warning of the consequences that await those who dare to threaten the sanctuary. The lion's bravery is unmatched, his presence a force to be reckoned with as he defends the reserve against the intruders. Ethan's strategic approach proves effective, as his team successfully disarms the traps and scatters the poachers, forcing them to retreat. The threat is neutralized, but the encounter leaves a lasting impression on everyone involved. The reserve remains safe, but the realization that poachers will continue to pose a challenge underscores the ongoing battle to protect these precious lands and creatures. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Ethan reflects on the significance of Scout's role in defending the reserve. The lion's unwavering courage and protective instincts have proven invaluable, reinforcing the bond between ranger and animal. Together, they embody the spirit of conservation, standing as guardians of the wild against those who seek to harm it. The threat of poachers serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of the natural world and the constant vigilance required to preserve it. Ethan and his team renew their commitment to safeguarding the reserve, implementing even stronger measures to prevent future incursions and protect the lives that depend on its safety. As the sun sets on another day in the wildlife reserve, Ethan, Scout, and David stand united in their dedication to preserving the beauty and integrity of the land. Their unbreakable bond, forged through courage and compassion, serves as a beacon of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. With the immediate threat of poachers successfully repelled, a sense of relief washes over the wildlife reserve. Ethan and his team work tirelessly to reinforce the reserve's defenses, implementing new security measures to prevent future incursions. The dedication and teamwork displayed during the confrontation have strengthened their resolve to protect the sanctuary and its inhabitants. Scout continues to play a pivotal role in maintaining the safety of the reserve. His vigilant presence ensures that any potential threats are swiftly identified and addressed. The lion's unwavering commitment to guarding David and the other animals serves as a powerful reminder of the deep bonds that can form between humans and wildlife. Ethan takes a moment to reflect on the events that have transpired, grateful for the unwavering support of his team and the extraordinary bond he shares with Scout and David. The challenges they've faced together have only strengthened their unity, creating a family bound by trust, respect, and a shared mission to preserve the natural world. In the days that follow, life within the reserve settles back into a steady rhythm. Ethan continues his work with renewed purpose, inspired by the resilience and courage demonstrated by his team, Scout and David. The trio moves forward, their bond serving as a foundation for the continued protection and preservation of the sanctuary. As time passes, Ethan, Scout, and David grow even closer, their relationships deepening as they navigate the complexities of life within the reserve. David thrives under Ethan's care, finding joy in the natural beauty that surrounds him and comfort in the steadfast presence of Scout. The boy's innocence and curiosity breathe new life into Ethan's daily routines, infusing his work with a renewed sense of hope and purpose. Ethan also reaches out to the local community, sharing the story of Scout and David's bond as a testament to the incredible connections that can form between humans and animals. His efforts to foster understanding and appreciation for the reserve's inhabitants help to strengthen ties with the villagers, promoting a sense of shared responsibility for the preservation of the natural world. The resolution of the poacher threat marks a turning point for the reserve, reinforcing the importance of vigilance and proactive measures in safeguarding its future. Ethan and his team remain committed to their mission, knowing that the preservation of this sanctuary relies on their unwavering dedication and the extraordinary bonds they formed with the land and its inhabitants. As the sun sets over the wildlife reserve, Ethan, Scout, and David stand together, gazing out over the vast expanse of protected land. Their journey has been filled with challenges and triumphs, each moment strengthening their unity and commitment to one another. The bond they share is a testament to the power of trust, protection, and the incredible connections that can transcend the boundaries between species. With the future ahead filled with promise and possibility, Ethan, Scout, and David embrace their roles as guardians of the reserve, united by an unbreakable bond that ensures the safety and preservation of their beloved sanctuary for generations to come. From a moment of abandonment to the formation of an extraordinary family, this story highlights the power of trust, protection, and the incredible connections that transcend species. Ethan's unwavering dedication, Scout's fierce protectiveness, and David's resilience showcase the remarkable bonds that can form in the face of adversity. Ethan's journey as a wildlife ranger has always been about more than just protecting animals. It's about fostering relationships and ensuring the survival of the natural world. His rescue and subsequent bond with Scout set the foundation for the extraordinary events that followed, illustrating how compassion and understanding can bridge the gap between humans and wildlife. Scout, once a vulnerable cub in need of protection, has grown into a dominant male lion with a heart of gold. His protective instincts extend beyond his own safety, reaching out to guard David and maintain the harmony within the reserve. The lion's bravery and loyalty serve as a powerful reminder of the strength that comes from deep bonds and mutual respect. David's story is one of resilience and hope. Abandoned in a moment of desperation, the young boy found solace and protection in the wildlife reserve, forming an unbreakable bond with both Ethan and Scout. His journey from fear to trust embodies the transformative power of compassion and the importance of providing support in times of need. Together, Ethan, Scout, and David exemplify the incredible relationships that can form when trust and protection are at the forefront. Their story is a testament to the unbreakable bonds that can exist between humans and animals, showcasing the profound impact that one person or one lion can have on another's life. As we reflect on their journey, we're reminded of the importance of compassion, understanding, and the extraordinary connections that can shape our lives in unexpected ways. The bond between Ethan, Scout, and David is a beacon of hope, illustrating that even in the wildest of circumstances, love and protection can create lasting and meaningful relationships. Now it's your turn. What would you have done in Ethan's shoes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story inspiring, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more incredible tales from the wild. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.